Welcome back to U Squared with transformational life coach Christy Karate. This is week 4.
So we start with our gratitudes and our proudest, and just as a reminder, this sets the vibrational tone for creating, for manifesting, for having these quantum leaps. And I can't wait to tell you about what's going on. It's just amazing. Not amazing. It's of course it's happening. So I'm sitting here in Santa Fe, and we're getting ready to do our gratitudes and our proudest. And this, as I mentioned, sets the tone, sets the vibrational frequency for us to have the opportunity to really turn up the volume, turn up the frequency on our experience of that life that we would love to live. That life that we are creating right now, that life that already exists, and we are just taking the steps that are making that happen, reveal itself, come to us. Okay, so, I'll have to say right now, I am so very grateful. I'm so grateful for so many things. Oh my gosh, the flight was coming here to Santa Fe today. The flight was just easy and everything went smoothly, and it was a smooth landing, and getting to the university where Aaron's starting school, just everything, smoothly. And then that I get to sit here in this beautiful room and that I get to be with you. I am grateful for all of that. And I am so proud of the foundation that I've given my son to watch what he is able to do. My life was very different at 17 than his life is. And I just feel very grateful for the foundation, and I'm proud of the foundation that I've helped him develop. So take a moment right now and write down your gratitude and you're proud of. And, this is, now I love this expansion. It's like the warp in the west is spanning from here to Texas, from Santa Fe to Texas to California and back again. And this is like the distance. And then we can expand that, too, to go right around the world and expand that frequency for everyone. Someone's tingling right now out there in the world, and they don't know why, and it's because of our consciousness, our creating this environment here. So we are jumping into the last 3 steps of this amazing book, U Squared, and I hope you're finding it as amazing as I am. And, I'm getting a lens to see this through right now, through the experiences that I'm going through, and I'll be sharing that with you. And I trust that if you are opening yourself to this and taking that deep dive, that you too are experiencing a deeper understanding and a greater experience of this idea of a quantum leap available to us. And I actually want to take you to just a moment of thinking about this. So take a deep breath right now. And I want you to think about what it would feel like if you were having a quantum leap right now. And it's your right. It's not only your right, it's your responsibility to have quantum leaps. And if you were having that breakthrough right now, that you got that call, what would that call be? Or having an event or an experience that you knew you were having a quantum leap, what would that be? Make sure you capture that, you gasped that on the end of a pen, because that vibration right there is so powerful. Oscar Hammerstein said, a dream can't come true unless you dream that dream. We can't have these quantum experiences unless we can dream it and feel it. So let's get started. Now I'm going to be shuffling papers a little bit. So I'm usually sitting at my desk, but here I am in this nice overstuffed chair covered in Southwest pattern here in front of the cozy fire. And we're going to move right now into the chapter that's called Fall in Love, and it's on page 31 of U Squared. And I want to give you a subtitle for this. It's called Stoke the Fire. Okay, because passion, you can read this on page 32, the little second paragraph down there. Passion is a very important part of the process. It fires the soul and fills the spirit, energizing your heart and mind for the quantum leap to a higher plane of performance and experience, right? Passion also keeps you going when you hit with a problem or uncertainty. Now, to me, this is one of the most important parts of falling in love and stoking the fire of your vision, because it's one of the functions and the purposes of the vision. Your vision needs to be fiery enough and passionate enough and something that you're willing to go through the challenges. I mean, things come up. We do live on this physical material plane here, and things do come up. And if our vision has a high enough vibration and has caught us enough that it has stoked the fire within us, the passion within us, then we will take the steps, even though they're difficult at times, to move through to that vision. And so I want you to take a look at your vision, and that moment we just had of what would a quantum leap be for you. How would you know you were having a quantum leap? And incorporate that into your vision. And so, really, how passionate are you about your vision? There is not one thing that you are not capable of doing or being. So on the bottom of page 32, about the third from the bottom paragraph, it says the inner drive must be strong enough to carry you past the point of wishful thinking. So we go beyond I wish I could. Wouldn't that be nice? Wow, look, they did it. Okay, the dream must consume you, control you, drive you to action, disallowing half-hearted effort in the pursuit. Quantum leaps are an act of love, a passionate statement of how you care for the thing you seek, like how you nurture the thing you seek, how you stoke the fire of that thing that you seek. Only an emotional move holds the power to carry you the distance from the you to the power of 2, to the squared. However you want to say that. Okay, and this is important because, we talk about our thoughts or the images, and they go through the emotion, and that's the driving force. It's almost like the mechanism that spits the dream out into the world, into reality. And so that passion has to be powerful enough. So what is it that you need to do to stoke that fire of the passion? And, turn the volume up this week on your vision. And you're always welcome to send me the new version of your vision. And if you send me your vision and say, you know what, I really want to stoke the fire on this, and you give me permission, I will help you turn the volume up on your vision. And that's done basically, if you want to do it on your own, it's done basically by 5 sensorizing it. by bringing all 5 of your senses into it as if it's happening now, feeling it, just like that moment that I invited you to experience a quantum leap. What would a quantum leap feel like? And so the whole thing about a dream can't come true unless you dream it. A quantum leap cannot come true unless you dream it. You've got to feel it. You've got to know it. And you don't need to know all of the exact details. Maybe it's getting a phone call that you're being invited to sing on the stage of a most amazing venue. Maybe it's being on a cruise and knowing that your business is completely handled. Maybe it's waking up one morning and knowing that you've got 5 calls with clients as a health coach. Maybe it's waking up knowing that your family is so well taken care of and in such a creative, nurturing place. And maybe it means that you have ease and joy and freedom in the course of your day. Your workplace is lined out. You do the things that you love. You have the freedom. Whatever it is, what is the quantum leap? What is the passion? Great. So, powerful stuff. So let's move on to make your move before you're ready. Act before you're ready. The general example that I give here is, just like when you began to walk, you did it unknowing, and you didn't throw in the towel. You didn't give up and say, this walking stuff is just too hard. I think I'll give it up, right? You didn't even know to give it up. And that's, part of going forward. I just was, it's so amazing. And we're going to talk about this a little bit in our next chapter, but I am watching Aaron in a quantum leap right now. And I'm going to actually share this whole experience here with you in a minute. But we just went into the bank to set up a checking savings account for him here locally. And she started talking to him about they have this program that helps them build their credit, and it gives them a credit card that's a guaranteed credit card. So, it's got a little of the danger taken out of it, but yet it helps them develop it. And when they prove it, then they can turn around and apply for a credit. And he's going, I'm not sure I want credit. And I'm like, well, if you use credit in a really good way, it's really a powerful tool. And if you abuse it and don't use it, it really can drag you under. And we walked out of there, and he goes, wow, I can't almost breathe. I mean, we're talking about credit cards. We didn't get that for him, by the way, yet. But he's just like, and he's in just this amazing place. So, and is he ready? Oh, my gosh. Okay, I'm not ready for this. So he pulled a fast one and ended up driving. Many of you live in the same area as I do. And for some reason, he was with this friend of his, and they decided to drive to Sonic Burger for dinner at about 9 o'clock last night. Last night, the night before we're going on a plane to go to college, Sonic Burger is in American Canyon. It's down dark and windy roads. It's an hour and a half away, which means an hour and a half back. And he calls me saying, oops, Mom, I'm not going to get home on time. Oh, my gosh. I lost it. I was just like, I cannot believe this. And I love that he did this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, well, he's on his way home. Jerry and I are going, how could we let him go to college? He's not really ready. Look, he's not making wise decisions. But when he came back, he was so open to getting why this wasn't a good idea. And to learning and gleaning, and it's like, in my mind, he's not ready to make this move to college. I mean, look at the decision he made yesterday. Look at some decisions he made earlier this week. He's not ready, but he's moving forward. And yes, we have like these support structures and things in place, to make it happen for him. But, getting ready is, quite frankly, a stalling tactic. U squared can only occur in the present moment, and it can only occur if you do it, make your move before you're ready. You don't prepare for it says in the book here that you don't prepare for a quantum leap. And really, in essence, you don't prepare for a quantum leap. You set the vibrational frequency, and then you take the steps in the direction. But we don't say how. We don't say, oh, this is the only way that it can happen. That happens by us just being open. Remember the low pressure front. And the important thing about making a move before you're ready is that it requires mobility, and then the strategies evolve. I mean, look at dancing, right? First, yes, you have to learn some basic steps, and then you throw the music on, and you go for it, right? And you step on the other person's toes, and, or tennis, or fishing. I don't know how many of you fish, but boy, when I remember taking Aaron out fishing, and the lines get tangled and everything, but then the more you do it, and you just have to do it. Okay, so let's move on to the next chapter, which is look inside for the opportunity. Now, this is potent and powerful. On page 36, everything else that's needed right now, okay, so we've given all these other principles, all these other steps to having a quantum leap. Now, everything else that's needed right now comes from inside of you. The opportunity, the timing, the power to perform, these are in you, not in the situation. Think about it. So whatever you're up against, the conditions, the contraction that you experience when you back down to conditions, you have within you what it takes to move through that. And you don't have to be limited by the situation. The formula for you too, the strategy for making the quantum leap has been covered here. You have those answers. The answers to the question that remains must come from that voice within. Now you must listen to yourself. Those are the sounds no one else can hear. Your dreams, your desires, the thoughts that burn the hottest in your mind, the thoughts that burn the hottest in your mind. Okay, so remember, even anything you're paying attention to, that's what's getting, your attention. That's what's getting fed. That's what's creating around you, and that's why it's rigor and important to watch every thought that crosses the portal of our mind. The answers to the questions that remain must come from the voice within. Now you must listen to yourself. Those are the sounds that no one else can hear. Your dreams, your desires, the thoughts that burn the hottest in your mind, that's where we were, right? The thoughts that burn the hottest in your mind, they carry the message that help you find your own magnetic north. They point the way toward the breakthrough to U squared. Your thoughts, your dreams, your desires. Okay, so be careful what you're thinking, right? Pay attention and do whatever it takes. Whether you need to write out some replacement thoughts, whether you need to use some of the tools, those of you that were in the class last month that we used, whatever it takes, be prepared and be conscious and deliberate about the thoughts that you let cross the portal of your mind. Look inside at what pulls at your consciousness, for there you'll find the direction. Everything else is in position, waiting for you. Just do it. Make the quantum leap. Now, this is where I want to really share. I want to share from beginning to end kind of this process that Aaron has been going through. And so I love to use the analogy of a high jump, and that, you do take small steps. You take the running steps up to the bar, and then you leap. And often you knock that bar off, but you can't learn to get over that bar and to raise it higher until you knock it off a few times. So Aaron actually, many years ago, for many years, Aaron has worked with a person that works with the Catholic Charities at Christmas time to get Christmas presents for the kids that are in the shelters at that time of year. And somehow back at the beginning of middle school, Aaron got involved and started raising enough money to pay for all of the teenagers that were in that facility, to get them gift cards for $20 to $25 from the local shopping mall there. And there was often 20 to 30 teenagers in there. And every year he met his mark. And then he helped wrap the presents for all the other kids and helped give out these kits. And then, he did some other amazing things. And somehow my mentoring teacher, Mary, probably because I tell her these stories all the time, right? She heard about Aaron, and Aaron went with me to Dream Builder Live, which is one of Mary's programs. And to our surprise, he was called up on stage and asked to share some of his story and what he would like to do in the future, and awarded by Mary the Dream Builder Achievement Award. And I have to say, the very first thought that came out of my mind was jealousy. I'm so sorry. I'm like, he got it and I didn't. Well, I did get it a couple of years ago, so I got one too. But anyway, so he's been in this philosophy, and then of course the more he became a teenager, the more he said, oh, this stuff doesn't really work, but yet he lived it and he used it, and you could see it happening all the time. So we fast forward now, he's getting around to thinking about college, and and some of you've heard this story, but listen to the meaning for it and extract it for yourself. He found the college that he wanted to go to. And we came out and visited it, and I encouraged him to look at other universities, other colleges, other opportunities of what he might do. And when we got on the campus here, this was the place for him. He knew it at the very core of his being. And that's with our vision. We need to know it at the very core of our being, that this is the truth for us. And, as a mom, I had a very hard time sometimes saying, and I did say to him, Aaron, are you sure that you only want to apply to one university, one college, one school? And, there's always, the backup plan was always, he could always go to the JC or, there's many other options, but he was driven, and more driven than I think I've seen him. And he took the steps that it took. He did his audition, recorded it, and sent it in. He was applying in acting, and I just didn't think he would fail. I just watched him go forward, and I didn't think he would fail. And I was actually at a training with Mary, and I got a text from him that said, Mom, I didn't get in. And oh my gosh, my mommy heart just sank. And I was fortunately, it was kind of the event we were just walking into at the time I got the text from him. I was sitting in the front row, and Mary's son Matt was up speaking on stage, and I was going through my mind that process that I've taught you, feelings, facts, truth. And I went, well, my feeling is that I'm sad. I'm so sad for my son. And the fact is that he didn't get into the college of his truth. And I'm going through this in my head, and Matt is up on stage talking, and he's telling the story about when he he was going to medical school, and he'd gone quite a ways through, like 3 years through medical school or something, and he decided he wanted to become a teacher. And he just like, oh my gosh, I have to tell my mom and my grandparents and everything that, it's like I'm switching gears here. But he did, and they were very supportive of him. And his grandfather said, Matt, we don't know how you will do it, but we know you will do great things in this world. And those words resonated with me about my son. I don't know how, but I know absolutely he will do amazing things in the world. So I get home from the training 3 days later, and I go up to him and I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, oh, honey, are you okay? And he says, oh, yeah, Mom, I'm fine. I called my enrollment advisor and I asked him how I could get in film and script writing. And they told me I need to make a 5-minute movie. So Pedro and Joseph and I, we're busy and we're making this movie. And 3 weeks later, he had this movie done. He scripted it. He wrote it. He scripted it, filmed it, acted in it, and then he, excuse me a second, I'm going to turn the fireplace off, and edited it. He actually went into the ArtQuest. He had a friend in the ArtQuest program that was in the video editing department, or film, or whatever it was, and the guy helped him edit it. And he sent this video in on a Friday. And once again, I was out of town, and Monday, I turned on my phone and I had like 10 texts, Mom, 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 Mom. So even though it was 10:30 at night, I called him and I said, honey, what's going on? I'm in film school at Santa Fe University of Art and Design. See, Mom, I told you, I knew I was going to school there. It's just like that dream building. Oh, I forgot to tell you a piece of it. I remember when I asked him if he wanted to apply to any other schools, he said, Mom, what kind of dream building is that? So, I mean, what are you going to say to that, right? And he said, I knew I was going to be here. And so here he is today. And he is in a quantum leap right now. And so are Jerry and I. And this just like amazing expansion. There is a vibrational frequency that is freedom, that is curiosity, that is excitement and enthusiasm, that is like this is all happening. This young man, I think most all of you know that my son is adopted from Guatemala. We went many years ago and visited the family, his birth family, who lived in a cinder block house, almost like a compound with dirt floors. They did their cooking and washing outside in this little compound courtyard type of thing. This is where he has come from, and this is what he has created and manifested. And if he, the 17-year-old, think about it. Each one of us there is no excuse. We are not, any of us are not an excuse to all of the absolute truths that take place, that are available to us. No, we are not the great excuse. We all are part of this same network of energy, of principles, of laws that are in effect right now, all for our good. The universe has got our back. The divine wants us to be its expression of creativity. And here he is. He is doing this. And each one of us, we can have a quantum leap and open to that vibrational flow of our dreams and our desires, because that is the longing of the divine, to want to create itself in a way that has never been created before. And so it is not only our right, it is our responsibility